Well, the football is well and truly back. I don't know if you could hear that, but one of the stewards behind me was whistling the Federico Chiesa song, and he has every reason to. Liverpool have won 4-2 against Bournemouth, but really that does not tell the story, because for quite a few minutes, I was thinking they were heading for an opening day draw or an opening day defeat against Bournemouth, who played well. And, if they got that draw, maybe we would have said, yeah, fair enough. They gave it a very good go in the second half. But Liverpool got that win. They're on top of the table, and that is where they intend to stay all season. They were there pretty much all of last season, so let's see how they can do this season. But it was a good start, and we're just going to quickly go through all of the key takeaways from the match. You can see just here Joe Gomez doing a little warm down with one of the fitness coaches, Conor Murta. But Joe Gomez, although he did put in a nice shift off the bench, he's not one of the big talking points tonight. The big one is obviously Federico Chiesa, and I'm just at the point now where I'm thinking, just keep him for the vibes, if nothing else, because he just absolutely loves the club. You can tell by the way he carries himself and his body language and stuff like that. When Slot threw him on tonight, I was thinking, oh, is that the right move? But it's also a show of faith in Chiesa. But he was there, right man, right place, right time to score and obviously win the game for Liverpool. Obviously, Mo Salah went on to score that fourth after, but it was Chiesa's goal. Really, Chiesa is the hero of the night. And obviously, I'm saying keep him on vibes. If a good bid doesn't come in, there's no reason why they shouldn't keep him. It just depends on what Richard Hughes wants to do. I'm going to go down and speak to Arne Slot in a minute, and I'm sure that question will be asked to him. If it's not, I'll ask it myself, and you'll see on Twitter. You've probably already seen that by the time I put this video out. Given the state of the Anfield Wi-Fi, I'll probably have to wait till I get home to upload it. But Chiesa, the serious conversation, though, not to turn it into a negative point, is that tonight maybe underlined the lack of options off the bench that Slot has, because when they needed that goal at 2-2, you did sort of think, oh well, who is there? Because last season, if Luis Diaz was having a bad game, there was Cody Gakpo. If Luis Diaz was playing in number 9 and he was having a bad game, there was even Darwin Nunez. So tonight he didn't really have them options, and I do think that the Alexander Isak thing will maybe accelerate soon, because Liverpool have played the first domino. They've pushed it over. Ben Doak is going to tonight's opponents, Bournemouth, 25 million, which means Bournemouth can in turn sell Dango Altara to Brentford, which in turn means if Newcastle can, man up and make a signing, then maybe Brentford will be able to sell Johan Visser to Newcastle, which allows, drumroll, yeah, you know where I'm going with it. But we're not here to talk about that tonight. We're here to talk about this brilliant win. Just while we're on the topic of forwards, because I do think maybe 2 forwards are needed. Antoine Semenyo, he was linked earlier in the window. I'm pretty sure conversations took place there. Maybe. And that's not based on any information, by the way. That is just me saying he is worth a look. Brilliant second goal and right place at the right time for the first goal. But the second thing we're going to talk about today is, well, it's Hugo Ekitike, isn't it? I thought he was probably just about man of the match. Absolutely brilliant in that first half. And it's hard not to view everything through the lens of what would Darwin do in that scenario, because there's a moment about 2 minutes in, Ekitike comes deep, he has the ball, chests it down, plays it out wide, and you're thinking, would Nunez do that? And I'm not so sure. And then the goal, maybe a bit of luck with the way it bounced for the goal, Ekitike, but he took the finish well, and I was thinking, would Nunez be able to pull it off? It does seem harsh to view everything through that lens, but I can't help myself, and yeah, what a player he looks. 2 goals in 2 competitive games. We were told he was not signed just for his goals, but it certainly helps when he scores 2 in 2. Looks the part. He doesn't look fully fit because he has tired in both games. Went off about the hour mark today. He doesn't have a replacement either, so maybe that's in the back of Slot's mind. Maybe that's something to be addressed in the next 2 weeks. But Ekitike, 79 million, and he looks like a 79 million player. But I just saw a stat, the last player to score and assist on his Liverpool debut was, it was Darwin Nunez, so we all know how that happened. But Ekitike does look the part. He looks at £79 million player, where I don't think Nunez ever really looked an £85 million player. But the third thing we're going to talk about tonight is what a difference AMA makes. That's a terrible pun, by the way, on what a difference a day makes. Alexis McAllister back in the midfield. Wasn't his best tonight, but he did just make that midfield look a little bit more solid. Obviously still lacking Ryan Gravenberch. He'll be back a week on Monday for that game at Newcastle. And Alexis McAllister should be even more fit by then. So the main midfield should be back by then. But McAllister, good performance, few shaky moments defensively off the ball, but some lovely passes, just gets on the ball, and you can see him going like this a lot. He's the one that sets the tempo, slows it down when it needs to be, and that's exactly what Arne Slot wants in his midfield. It's worth saying as well, Dominic Szoboszlai put in a good shift tonight, was poor in the Community Shield last week, but decent there tonight, and obviously he's not guaranteed a place anymore now Virtus has come along, so he's got a lot to prove. And that brings us on to our fourth talking point, which is another player who has things to prove, and that is Cody Gakpo, my 7.5 million fantasy football asset. Scored. I was buzzing, but I didn't have Salah in, and I can't believe he's done me in the 94th minute, because no one needed that, did they? And Frimpong getting subbed off genuinely 15 seconds before he gets a clean sheet. What is that about? I'm getting wound up. Cody Gakpo. He is not the most fashionable player around there at the moment because of all the new signings they've got. Florian Wirtz, Hugo, Ekitike, new fullbacks, 4 new shiny toys there. Cody Gakpo is not the flavour of the month, but wow, he should be. Brilliant finish tonight. Could have had another as well, but a beautiful goal. Skips past, not one, not one, but it was 2 actually. And then a beautiful finish into the bottom corner. Cody Gakpo has a lot to offer in this team this season. And at 7.5 million has a lot to offer in my fantasy team as well. So, big season ahead for Cody. And a great start today. Thought he was poor last week in the Community Shield, but a good performance there today, especially in the second half. And finally, before we wrap up this video, probably a negative. The defence still looked a little bit shaky, especially Ibrahima Konate. 2 times in that first 10 minutes he gave the ball away very cheaply. He was, a bit all over the place for a couple of Bournemouth's attacks in the second half, and I did really think that Bournemouth were knocking on that door about to score. I didn't, when it went 2-2, it was one of them where you said, yeah, well, I saw that coming. And at that point, I thought Bournemouth looked the more likely to win the game. Konate was not at his best standard by any stretch of the imagination. Neither was Virgil van Dijk, to be honest. And a bloke sat just there earlier on, Giovanni Leone, 18 years old, 6 foot. Well, Liverpool say 6'4". Transfermarkt say 6'5". So let's say 6'4.5". He is a man mountain, and he's going to be a good signing. And we look forward to him making his debut. But maybe he's watching that thinking, I'll get in the team a bit sooner than I thought, because Konate and Van Dijk were not at their best level. But obviously I'm joking, it's very early days and I'm sure they'll be back soon. But one thing is for certain, Liverpool are back, football is back, Liverpool are back on top of the league, and I will be back with another video early next week. But have a good weekend all, Liverpool are top of the league.